All right, we're done with production. We're ready to go into post-production. Whatever tool you're using, be cognizant of the fact that editing videos is even more time-consuming than recording. And furthermore, learning to edit videos is also time-consuming, very time-consuming, especially if you don't do it every day. Now, you don't have to use Camtasia, but if you are, a lot of faculty are, so let's give a quick tour of the Camtasia interface. This is where you'll be editing your videos. The three main areas that you really should know from the get: the canvas, that is right there in the middle, the big black rectangle, that shows you how your finished program will appear. The timeline is at the bottom. That's a linear representation of your program where you can have multiple media tracks. And there's the bin in your upper left. That's where all your stuff is, including your recordings and effects. And for the simplest projects, you may not even need to use the bin. And there's other stuff here. But again, for very simple projects, the canvas and the timeline are what you really need to pay attention to. And then there's a matter of arranging things on the canvas. Your options here are numerous. And I think it's going to be easiest for me to explain this by actually moving things around in this presentation I'm doing for you now. I could have my video, the picture of my face, right there on top of the slide. You'll notice this is a widescreen video, and I have a widescreen recording of my face and a widescreen slideshow. So this is all widescreen. Sometimes, though, it's not going to be so good to have my face right on top of the slide because I want to have other stuff there. So if my slide design allows, there might be like a good place where I could put my video, picture of my face. Like I could put it over the CAT logo down here in the right-hand corner. And I can crop my video, by the way, to make it square so it fits nice and neat there. Another option that works especially well if you have not a slide deck that is not widescreen, but that is more what we call standard definition, 4:3, like the old television set back before we had HD TV, if you remember that. You can put your slide deck over to one side, you can put your video over to the other side, and in a widescreen format, that works pretty well if your slides are not widescreen. All kinds of options here. Moving right along. In the timeline, you're always going to want to make at least two edits. You're going to want to trim the beginning and trim the end. Remember, I said that you want to leave a nice long pause at the beginning and a pause at the end, right? So you're going to want to always trim out that extra dead air, so to speak. And I like to begin with the end, begin with the very end, trim the very end, because it's the simplest kind of edit, and then trim the beginning. It's slightly more complicated. We're not going to get into all the details, the minutiae of how you actually perform an edit. There's plenty of tutorials in Camtasia or whatever tool you're using that should tell you how to do that. We also mentioned the idea of making cuts in the middle to correct any mistakes that you may have made. Remember, I said leave pauses at your mistakes. That makes it easy in Camtasia and other products as well. You have a visual representation of what's called an audio waveform that shows you when you're talking. And so you can see when you made a pause. Those nice long pauses show you where to make your cuts in the timeline. Once you're done with all the edits, now you must watch your whole video from start to finish. I mean, if you're not going to watch it from start to finish, you can't expect your students to do so, right? It's really the only way to make sure that everything is correct. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't say a word about managing your digital files. You really should be consistent and name your files logically and helpfully, and keep them all in one place. And consider the storage ramifications, because video files, if you're not used to working with them, they're kind of huge. So you may run out of storage. You may need to consider purchasing additional storage. Beg, borrow, or steal.